We're here, you've taken your first steps into your journey into the unknown. What are you afraid of? I feel like most people, pretty high on that list is going to be change. We spend so much of our lives trying to put things in order, just the way we like them. We start feeling confident about what we're doing. We like the way we've got everything in order, and then someone or something comes along and changes everything. Change can be disruptive. Change can be unnerving. Change is constant. In fact, we've known that for a very long time. Heraclitus knew that in 500 BC. But what he didn't see, and what you're experiencing now, is the rapid pace of change in our lifetimes. When my grandmother was born in 1898, the primary mode of conveyance was shoe leather and horse and buggy. In her lifetime, she watched the advent of the Model T. She watched the Spirit of St. Louis fly across the Atlantic. She saw the jet age come. In her lifetime, she watched us walk on the moon. One lifetime. My parents, in their lifetime, because of medical advances and advances in diet and lifestyle, have seen a 25% increase in life expectancy. 20 additional years in one lifetime. So I'm looking at a lot of college students out here thinking, when I was your age, I just said that when I was your age. When I was your age, I was doing research in card catalogs. If you don't know what that is, go ask the librarians. I was doing research in card catalogs. I was pulling journals off the shelf. When I found an article I liked, I carried a big bag of nickels with me so I could use the photocopier and throw those nickels in, get my article, take it back. I hand-wrote paper. I turned in handwritten papers. Now, what do? You go online to get your ideas. You go online to research, you go online to write your paper, you go online to edit your paper, you go online to turn your paper in and get your grade on your paper. That's incredible. Again, one lifetime, that much change. I remember graduating from graduate school. It was a couple of long years getting there. All my energy was focused on that graduation. All of my focus had been on that accomplishment. And I remember the day, I sort of remember the day. I don't remember a thing the commencement speaker said, but I do remember going outside of that hall. It was a beautiful day in Provo, Utah, Brigham Young University, and here I was in my cap and gown and holding my diploma, and the only thing I could think was, now what? You see, my life had suddenly changed. I hadn't really thought about what happened next. I had good things coming up. I had a career ahead of me. I had my family next to me. All of this was good, but I really didn't have a concept of what happened next. You're going to go through a lot of change in your lives. Those of you who are in school now will not only experience a few jobs, you'll experience a few careers. Now, change can be unsettling. Not all change is bad. Some changes are good. You'll have marriages, graduations, jobs, children, wonderful changes. At the same time, you might have some changes that aren't so welcome. There may be divorce. There may be job loss. There may be the death of a loved one. In each case, whether we anticipate change or not, change is unnerving. Well, why is that? It's because when we change or go through change, we have to leave part of ourselves behind. It's an end to the way things are. Even the most longed-for changes have melancholy, for what we leave behind is a part of ourselves. Now, leaving part of ourselves behind is tough. However, we can make ourselves change resilient. Notice I didn't say change proof. No such thing. But we can make ourselves resilient. The psychologist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl is known for teaching that the last of the human freedoms was our ability to choose our response no matter the circumstance. We can always choose our response. He taught that when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. That's what we have power over. That's what we can control. I talk to a lot of people about change. I work a lot with change. It's part of my work title. We do change management. We work through things. We have great plans. And what I find is almost universal is people come up to me and say, this is hard. This is difficult. I'm losing my identity. I don't even know if I'm going to have a job when this is over. And what I tell them is the good news is you're normal. The bad news is you're normal. And so this unsettling, this sense of, I don't know what I'm going to do, is pretty universal. Now, with all the study I've done, with all the research, with all the expertise I've got in this subject, the one most profound, most impactful thing that was ever told me about thriving during change came from my wife. Hey, sweetheart. I'd been laid off. I'm happy to say I was never fired for cause, but companies go bankrupt, there's mergers, there's things that happen. Going through a layoff is tough. We identify with our jobs, with what we do. It's a source of pride. It's a source of identity. And so when I went through that first layoff, I'd like to think I handled it like a pro. I calmly went to my desk and put all my things in a box. I took them home, and then I proceeded to curl up in the fetal position, suck my thumb, and really fall into a state of self-pity and despair. Okay, I didn't handle it like a pro. I handled it like a lot of people do. I kind of fell apart. Eventually, I found work. Eventually, I got my professional identity back. Felt pretty good about it, and of course, within a few years, somebody bought out my company. Hey, Kevin, we love what you did for us. You don't have a job anymore. Took my box out, put all my stuff in the box, started to go home. And that's when my wife stopped me and she said, one thing, don't check out. So of course, I said, huh? And she said to me, don't check out. When I married you, you were nothing. And I still love you today. You are more than that job. You are more than that job. You are a husband, you are a father, you are a neighbor, you are a scout leader, you are a church member, you are a friend. And all of these people need you. We can't afford to have you check out. Talk about perspective. Wow. So, here I was engaged. I didn't check out. I was locked in. I made her a promise. Well, when you don't check out, neat things happen. You start getting engaged. You start getting involved in the process of change, not avoiding it. There's another thing that you need to do, though. And one thing that this process led to was helping me to understand, wait a minute, I have value. And that's the next thing I'm going to tell you about being change resistance, is know your value. So I challenge you to answer 3 questions for yourself. With 7.3 billion people in the world, how do I distinguish myself from others? See, the term value added in business parlance means that extra thing, whatever separates us from being a commodity. Well, with 7.3 billion of us, if anything qualifies as a commodity, it's us. Yeah, we're all special, but. So how do you stand out? How do you make yourself valuable to others? So those 3 questions are, who are you? What do you do? And what good are you? That first one doesn't mean your name or your title or what was written on that last certificate. That first one is, who are you really? Where do your passions and your skills intersect? What do you bring to the table that's unique? So for me, I could say I'm a center director or I'm a university administrator, but really if you scratch all that stuff away, what I really am is the same thing I was when I was a 16-year-old kid teaching trumpet lessons to the neighbor kids. I'm an educator. That's who I am. So what do? I teach people. I help them grow. I love to do that. It's my passion. Now, your answer to those first two questions will be unique to you, but answer them. And I have one more thing to say about what do you do? And that is, it doesn't matter what you do it well. As Dad said, if you dig ditches, be the best darn ditch digger you can. Right? And that will reveal what good you are. And that's the next piece here. Well, what good are you? I asked that question to my colleagues. And when we're looking at our mission and our vision for the university, I asked them, I said, what do you do that makes this happen? And that can be very difficult. For example, one of my groups of colleagues are the people that come into my office and they empty my garbage cans and they change my light bulbs. They clean the toilet down the hall. We have thousands of people coming through our building every day. Imagine cleaning a toilet for thousands of people. That's what they do. And they do it well. But they stared at that piece of paper and said, we don't see ourselves in this mission and vision. And I said, I do. Let me tell you. I come into this building and it's clean and it's safe and it's well lit. And as a professional, I feel like I'm royalty. I'm in this place and I'm proud of it. I'm so proud that I invite people to the university so they can get an impression of who we are. That's how important you are. Now, if the person who cleans the toilets in my building is that important, if you know who you are and you know what you do, and you know what good you are, you have something to contribute. So, once you figure that out, you got to get involved. My wife didn't just say, oh, you're great, we need you, and then let me sit there and feel sorry for myself. No, she put me to work. There's Boy Scouts. They need you to camp with them this weekend. Oh, my single friend over here, her lawn needs mowed. Your kids need you to help them with the homework. And as simple and crazy as those tasks were, it gave me back a sense of my worth that was outside of a job, outside of anything else. I got to serve other people. In fact, the next time I had a professional interview, I was more confident because I had mowed lawns and camped with the Boy Scouts and helped my kids with homework. So get involved. Do it. The cowboy philosopher and poet Will Rogers says, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just stand still. You making a choice to do something, to get involved, keeps you looking forward. And as you look forward, that gives you power over the unknown, power over your own future. So here it is, real simple. You're on the edge of the unknown. What are you afraid of? Don't be. Just don't check out. Know your value, get involved, make that change. Thank you.